or so shared a few things, regurgitated a few things that we've heard 3, 4, 5 times. Some of those guys hadn't heard it before, and it was new. A lot of Morning Rush listeners have heard that same thing. So we'll get into some of that. Sam Pittman was also there. Don't have any audio from Sam, but I will tell you some of the things that he had to touch on this week, talking about injuries, talking about the possibility of a night game in the SEC, which could add $3 to $5 million to the pot. And with revenue distribution and the other things coming down the pipe, maybe that is expedited for 2026. We know next year will be the same. You're just on the road versus the home games this season. So 8-game SEC schedule next season. It's also Too Stupid Thursday, so I will share a story coming up how a veterinarian caught a man cheating on his wife in the most unorthodox way possible. So stay tuned for that.
Hey, largemouth bass spawning all over the area, coming off the spawn, actually, in Arkansas and Oklahoma. Going out fishing this weekend or maybe even this morning. Maybe you're on the water listening now. The famous Yum Dinger is what you need to have in your boat, in your tackle box. They're made by the truckloads in Arkansas in 3, 4, 5, and 6-inch sizes. In fact, if you went to a big bass tournament this time of the year, you're going to find them in the tackle boxes of professional anglers all over the country and really all around the world. Take a wacky rigging to the 5-inch model. You can't beat it for spawning bass. Find the Yum Dinger at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and your favorite tackle stores all over the place. It's the Yum Dinger, made by Pradco.
So the first day on the job's not always easy for whatever line of work you're in. For this one veterinarian, it was the weirdest, oddest, probably day of her professional career. And again, her first one. So she found a thong in a puppy's stomach after having to do emergency surgery with x-rays. And when she alerted the lady who brought in the puppy, the lady said, that thong's not mine. Therefore, figuring out that her husband was cheating on her.
The dog had eaten
a mistress's thong.
The underwear of the mistress.
Yeah, she said, a thong. I don't have a thong. And called her husband, screamed at him. He's cheating. Don't know if they're going to get a divorce or not.
That's an easy call for the dude there. I mean, I don't know anything about it. That dog could have got out anywhere, eating in neighbors' wasn't me. What's the old song? Wasn't me.
What is the explanation in that situation to bring the mail?
When you kind of previewed that segment, teased the Too Stupid Thursday and said it was going to be an unusual story, I was afraid we were going a different direction. A very hard turn left there. Maybe a sheep story. I was a little worried about it, but
something. What's that called again?
When you said a cheating story, I'm like, oh no! Please tell me we're not starting there.
What's that called again?
I have never heard of anything.
Bestiality?
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm just glad that's not where we started. But I've never heard of anything like this before, where the dog eats the mistress's thong.
So is that a good dog or bad dog? It's a good dog in the eyes of the lady. It's probably a bad dog in the eyes of the man.
I think the dude just I would deny it to my grave, no matter what.
Andy says, sounds like my luck. He texted on the McLarty Daniel hotline. That is
I don't think I would come in hot with the phrase, well, woman, if you could wear a thong, I wouldn't be needing to find one. I don't think I'd go that road. That might get your head knocked off.
Just gaslighter.
Yeah.
As quick as possible.
To lie about it. He found it in the trash and all that.
You stay with that story till your deathbed.
Well, I think
you go all the way with that.
I could be wrong, but I anticipated divorce is incoming to that couple. I'm not.
Who gets the dog in the divorce?
Speaking of cheating,
I'm gonna say this: that wasn't man's best friend in that case. If it looks like it is, that it was not man's best friend.
It's usually you're supposed to help the man out. Hey, I got a question for you, and we'll transition right after this. Where do y'all think? So Ashley Madison came out with their stats and they ranked the cities the most users per city.
Are they still
per
in
capita.
business?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you talk about a data leak that ruined. I mean, I've got people I know that it led to divorce and ruined their families when they had that data leak 5 years ago or whatever.
They should have been doing that. I know I'm not married yet, but they should have been doing that in the first place.
Well, that's not the point. But you're right. But that's not the. But boy,
okay.
I thought they were gone.
So the reason I bring that up, where do y'all think the number one city per capita per usage rate of Ashley Madison? For those who don't know, it's basically just a mistress or Mr. website. What's a male mistress called? Is he called a mistress?
I don't know.
Okay. It's basically that type of website where you can access other cheating couples. Where do y'all think the number one city in the United States of America?
Per capita?
Yeah. Percentage-wise per capita most usage.
I wouldn't have any.
It's a big city.
I want to say like Miami or somewhere like that where, it's just beautiful
It
people.
is it is a Big Ten college town. So that narrows you down, I guess.
Well, when you get to per capita, that's what
Madison,
makes it.
Wisconsin.
It's not a bad
That's
guess.
a good guess, though.
Yes.
Ashley
It's a
Madison.
great city. I love that place.
Yeah.
That is funny. Ashley Madison, Wisconsin.
Columbus, Ohio.
That's it.
It's just pure guess.
Columbus, Ohio.
Huh.
Of
Well,
all
those are
cities.
long, hard winters up there.
Yeah. I mean, of all places, there's this doc that I get every day that has these odd ends and stories, radio bits, and saw this about a week or so ago. Didn't know how I was going to tie it in. Now I have that as of this morning. But Columbus, Ohio, of all
pro move
cities,
there. Yeah.
is
Number one per capita in Ashley Madison
access and usage rate.
I didn't even know they were still in business.
You learned something new this morning.
And I sincerely mean that, honey.
I was going to say, I didn't know what it was until the data leak came out. And then I actually looked up what the website was entirely. Now I'm not married, so I don't know some of the things.
You don't qualify.
Yeah. I don't know some of the things that are out there, but I did find that pretty crazy. Columbus, Ohio, you cheating Buckeyes. You cheated back before the Sugar Bowl.
Yep.
Terrell Pryor.
Yep.
The rest of those guys cheated.
Yep.
And then your fan base is a bunch of cheaters, too. So Michigan gets a lot of crap from Big Ten fans and everyone else, but the real cheaters are the Ohio State Buckeyes. I did see today is the anniversary of Jim Tressel resigning from the Ohio State University following that and some other stuff that happened during his tenure. I saw that this morning as well. So I still am salty about what happened in the Sugar Bowl. I mean, that blows, because I think the guy that picked off the late Ryan Mallett was also one of the tattoo guys. So you had to beat the quarterback that got the free tattoos, and I think that defensive end / linebacker was a part of that too. So football.
But wait. You can't call them cheaters if you're one of these people that wanted Reggie Bush to be reinstated with his Heisman. You can't talk out both sides of your mouth.
I was very against Reggie getting his Heisman.
Well,
back.
that doesn't fit my narrative at this moment.
Okay, yeah. I was. Listen,
but there are a lot of people who say, well, it's legal now. They should forget all these things that happened. Well, you can't, that blows that whole Ohio State argument out of the water.
With NIL and everything going on. So that's football. I think we're 91 days out as of this morning on the Bud Light countdown. So we will talk some football. Morris Freed meetings coming up. Chuck's going to join us in 20 minutes. Again, we'll kind of unpack. We can't unpack all of Greg Sankey, what he had to say in a day. So we'll do more of that today and tomorrow as well.
Brought to you by APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group. Open jobs right now in Northwest Arkansas and North Central Arkansas, Madison County, Boone County, Baxter County, Benton, and Washington counties. Just go to jobs.crh.com. They're looking for diesel mechanics, licensed CDL drivers, electricians, people with quarry experience, asphalt and concrete experience. They've got jobs for you. Jobs.crh.com. APAC is an equal opportunity employer.
ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app is live at the 2024 Fayetteville Regional. Exclusive coverage is presented by Mock Legal Solutions. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price. Arvest Bank. Arvest is ready to help. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by Camping World. Camping World in Poteau and Van Buren, and online at campingworld.com. The road to Omaha starts now.
Call of the Omahawks. Yes, sir.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our number one volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the number one soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, Home Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Give me the hogs, Chuck. Give me the hogs.
Get 1.9% financing for well-qualified buyers on a GMC Sierra 1500 at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra 1500 has a 5.3-liter V8 engine, so you can conquer the road with confidence. Get 1.9% financing and $3,250 in purchase allowance when you trade an eligible vehicle. See the new GMC Sierra 1500 at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. Is someone special to you missing out on life because of foot pain? Let's face it, if your feet hurt, you don't want to go anywhere. Give the gift of freedom. Check out our store for all kinds of options to benefit your special someone. We have perfect gifts for those suffering from a variety of foot issues, such as plantar fasciitis, bunions, tendonitis, diabetes care, neuropathy, or just tired and achy feet. Visit us today at True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westark Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Hi, Jim Cash, fourth-generation jeweler and owner of the Diamond Center. I'm excited to announce our second annual Kiss and Tell event, and we would love to see you. I will be in store for 2 days, Friday and Saturday, June 7th and 8th, to negotiate every piece of jewelry. This event is special because this is the best pricing of the year and all still backed by our free lifetime warranty. Come and make me an offer during these 2 days only for our Kiss and Tell event here at the Diamond Center. Visit us before for more details. Again, those dates are Friday and Saturday, June 7th and 8th at the Diamond Center, a legacy of love.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel. 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
Hey, Diamond Hog fans. The road to Omaha is smooth sailing, but the road to co-parenting, not so much. If you are in a divorce or custody dispute and need real advice at a reasonable price, call me, Jackie Mock, at Mock Legal Solutions, 479-769-1505. With me at Cleanup, we're sure to cross home plate. Go Hogs.
Arkansas is headed back to Omaha.
The Lynx at Chaffee Crossing prides itself in providing award-winning barbecue. Whether you're craving ribs, pork, brisket, or chicken, we can satisfy any appetite. Stop in and watch Razorback Baseball and enjoy everyday food and drink specials like $2 domestic beer or $3 premiums. The Lynx at Chaffee Crossing is here and ready to serve you the best barbecue in the River Valley. The Lynx at Chaffee Crossing next to Deer Trails Golf Course. Come see us.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
sign of a smart man is to understand that things change and to roll with those changes. And Ty, I applaud that you've done that.
Smith ahead, still 0-2 on Daly. Here's the pitch. He struck him out looking with a breaking ball. Hagen Smith has struck out the side 3 times today.
Subscribe to the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, and share.
Couple funny texts as we close down this story that we read. If you missed the first segment, there was a veterinarian on her first day that found a thorn via x-ray in one of her clients' and customers' puppy's stomachs.
How did the dog eat the whole shoe?
That's a great question. The woman said, I don't have a thorn. That's not mine. Called her husband and was screaming at him.
Was it a left or a right shoe?
Good question. I don't know. But a couple funny texts. JT in Hot Springs says, when we were talking about Ashley Madison and Columbus, Ohio being the most numerous searched in all the cities, he said that makes sense. Ohio is not a morally supportive state. And then Andy Mountain Home kind of said the same thing you did. I think the woman is going to get the dog in the divorce.
You ever been to Ohio?
I don't think so.
I have not either.
I want to go.
It's a state I haven't visited.
I mean, you got Columbus, Cincinnati, Cleveland. I'm missing another big city.
Wow, I didn't know those cities were there.
I'm just there are places I want to visit. There's probably another city.
I haven't had a reason. Now,
Cincinnati. Yeah.
Yeah, Toledo's a place I'd like to go. There's a really good golf course there, Inverness. That met a guy that's a member there. I'd like to go there sometime. So,
I have found now in my golf, not generation, golf regime, golf feel journey. That's the word. Any city I travel to, I look up the golf courses.
Yeah.
Not just, it used to just be food. It used to just be bars. Now it's food, bars, and golf courses. And honestly, it goes golf, food, bars. I've dropped bars to the lowest of the priorities on the totem pole.
Golf 1, food 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oftentimes, I won't eat.
You're growing up a little bit, young man.
I won't eat a lot on these trips sometimes if I'm playing golf just because I don't want to get groggy during the round. And I won't.
Would that
won't
affect
drink.
your game?
Yeah, it would. Which is already worse than bad. So I won away yesterday.
That's what's holding you back.
There's a lot of things holding me back. And we're going to get into that. I do want to ask a question coming up that we're going to go into a dream world, talk about our athleticism. We'll do that in about an hour. And Chuck joins us in about 12 minutes from now.
All right, I'm looking here. Bet Saracen app, getting ready for baseball. First thing you see when you pull it up is Women's College World Series is on there. So you can check out that stuff. Got the NBA game tonight, Mavericks and T-Wolves. Have you seen the line? I'm
going to guess the Timberwolves are favored by like 4.
You've seen it then.
I legitimately haven't.
4.5.
4.5? Okay.
4.5. Over, under? You want to guess on that?
I'm going to high score 212.
209.5.
Okay. That's not bad.
And the T-Wolves are minus 190. Mavs plus 160. So you can find that there. They'll have all the baseball stuff up for this weekend. So, and if you're a softball fan, you got all the lines there as well. Of course, full Major League card as well. So you can find it. Plus, they've got a tab. You click on specials, and you can find all kinds of specials that are there as well involving the Women's College World Series today. They'll have college baseball up there. Let's see what they've got. Well, they've got, here it is, Southeast Missouri State Redhawks and the Razorbacks. Hogs are minus 750.
Man, imagine betting on them and losing that. Oh, yeah, that sounds about right, though. This is a...
So you need to put up 750 to win 100.
Yeah, Phil was talking about it yesterday. This is not like just... I think it's like a cute New Jersey team or a cute California team. Like, this is a decent ball club. Like, if you don't show up against these guys, especially with the Sawyers and Ezel connection, you're not going to like the outcome. I don't anticipate anything else. I do find it interesting, the possibility of a rain delay and just kind of how that would maybe affect the game overall. It's scheduled for 2 o'clock tomorrow. There is still rain in the forecast. I hope it doesn't affect the weekend, even though it looks like it might.
Yeah, 70% chance of rain on Friday. Now, everybody's weather app seems to do something different, but this one looks ugly. 1.5 inches of rain essentially from 6 a.m. till after 6 p.m.
Yeah.
All day there's rain pretty much forecasted in every hour. So anyway, it doesn't look promising for Friday.
Nope, it does not. We'll keep you updated.
And that's the reason Dave picks that first slot. It's, in part, that's why he picks it.
And we'll keep you updated right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com, and we'll talk more baseball coming up. And speaking of baseball, not collegiately, a guy that did play his collegiate ball and his high school ball at Fayetteville High School, Grant Cook, with his first run yesterday in the show.
Busted open, high fly ball, center field. This will do it. Wow, keeps carrying all the way to the edge of the warning track, and McCutcheon will also advance. That's big. Sac fly for Reynolds. Brings home Grant Cook, who scores his first big league run. Pirates lead at 6-2.
So Grant gets on base with the walk. Think about this. So he gets called up. One of their catchers goes on a 10-day DL. It's Paul Skeen's birthday last night. So he's catching for the best rookie in the league, Paul Skeens. And it's Skeen's birthday, as I mentioned. It's Cook's first game, and he scores in his first game. Now, this is a kid, again, that was on that 2018 College World Series Finals team, Fayetteville Bulldog, one of our own, and it was pretty cool to see him have all that happen yesterday. I mean, it's a big deal. It's his rookie debut, and Skeens is only in his, I think, second or third, maybe fourth start.
Yeah, so a convergence of SEC talent there, so to speak. Even though I don't think they ever played a game.
No.
The years don't match up.
Nope, Skeens was just at LSU last year. I guess he was at the I forget if he was at Army or Navy. He's one of the service academies the year before. Maybe it was Air Force, but he just played 1 year in college ball at LSU.
Yeah. Hey, tomorrow morning we're going to be live at the Stadium Shop right next door to Baum Walker, getting you ready for the regional. All the gear you need for the Omahogs is there. So come by and see us tomorrow morning, and we'll be telling you about this throughout the show as we get ready for a big regional in Fayetteville. So everything you need that's Razorback related at the Stadium Shop. We're live with the Morning Rush tomorrow morning. Hey, that means we need a place to stay tonight in Northwest Arkansas. So we're going to stay at the Inn at the Mill. We'll love staying there. It's a unique property, number one, with a great location. Big oversized rooms. Got the water features on site from the old mill that's historic. It goes back, and you can look at that. You can relax and sit and have your cup of coffee in the morning by that. You know, for 12 years running, they've been rated the highest for staff interaction at the Inn at the Mill. So Jennifer and the crew at the desk always take great care of you. Quality of rooms, the personal touch you get, and the great location just off the Johnson exit 69. The Inn at the Mill, 479-443-1800. It's where we stay, 443-1800, or online at innatthemill.com.
So we'll share what Cal had to say, some what Sam Pittman had to say, and some tornado relief information coming up.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limburg Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimburgTeam.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Bet Online, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the fence man was my first call.
That's kind of the tone you heard from Dave Van Horn earlier this week when discussing what happened in Hoover, Alabama, and now that they know their fate in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and who they're playing, starting with SEMO, and who they could potentially play in the upcoming regional. Chuck's with us now. We'll get some thoughts on baseball, but we hadn't mentioned the tornado effects so far this morning. I want to kind of get back into what Northwest Arkansas and the community is doing, because we had some questions about that.
Yep, and we're going to talk about the regional coming up. Weather may be a big factor on Friday. All of our coverage, including our post-game coverage following each Razorback game, is presented by Mock Legal Solutions, 479-769-1505 to call Jackie Mock, or go to mocklegalsolutions.com. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price. Also by Arvest Bank. They've been around since 1961. They're ready to help. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by Camping World, they're in Poto and in Van Buren, and online at campingworld.com.
So I've seen a bunch of things lately, and you asked the question about the possibility of help yesterday, Tommy. And Chuck, I know we had someone call in from Rogers High School, which is helping different people in the community.
They got a shelter.
Yeah, you can shower there. They can some people are staying overnight. They're asking people if they have any extra toiletries or food to kind of pass those out. But Rogers High School kind of seems to be one of the hubs right now, helping people in Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, it's really remarkable what's happened. Obviously, the tornadoes themselves and all the damage and the death and all that came from that. But, the way the communities rally together, we always do that in times like this. And particularly, in the more populated areas, you have more
places you can go. There are a lot of rural areas affected too, though, and a lot of those people have been displaced. And I know there are a lot of people in some of the rural counties that have had to go to places, where there are services that they don't have right now. There are still lots of people without them. But, based on everything that, that I read, there's a wide spectrum of things that are needed, from just a simple hot meal to a shower to food, shelter, things that we all take for granted. And there are so many places that, the churches have rallied. Many of them have rallied, as they always do. And, but that is one of the hub spots. And I know there are people out there that are still, they need every service that's available.
Yeah, I saw a post that Clay had reposted on Facebook yesterday, the city of Norfolk, because this, not just in Rogers and Benton County, this thing stretches, a ways and in different communities, but they had X number of bins basically that had adult male toiletry items that you might need just to get through a few days, the basics, the essentials, and had stuff for females and kids. And, if you needed diapers, request the sizes. And, you just take for granted your toothbrush will be there tomorrow morning. You just take for granted deodorant will be there tomorrow morning, and underwear, and, just something to wear. And when something like this just happens and suddenly it's all in a pile of rubble, it's good to know that there's a friend or a neighbor or someone nearby that you may not even know that can get you through those tough few days.
Well, you think about people with small children. That's who I think about.
Absolutely.
Because that's, that's an everyday task in and of itself when life is normal. Then you throw this into it, and I can only imagine. But it's and I said this on my podcast yesterday. I mean, I realize that, and we all should realize that we have the luxury of talking about fun and games pretty much every day, and it's again put in perspective that what we do is fun, but it doesn't mean a lot to people right now who don't have their home or don't have what they need. And there are so many places up there. And for example, and they're not the only ones who've done this. But, you hear me talking about Weichert, and they're not the only business that's done it. But I think a lot of these places have, they've prepared literally 1,000 meals for people, cooking food. And there are many, many businesses that have done this, and churches do this, and neighbors do this. Again, it's tragic what happened. And, we're going to remember it for a long, long time, and lives have been affected in sometimes an irreversible way. But we do see the spirit of our community when things like this happen.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it this week.
I know Walmart and Tyson alone, you mentioned kind of businesses, they prepared like 10,000 meals. They're
great corporate neighbors.
Yeah.
All of them are. They have been in so many instances. We see it now. And yes, they have stepped up as they always do.
Yeah. So if there is an immediate need and we can get the word out, or there's relief, or there is a fundraising opportunity or a donation center, or if there's any way at the very minimum that we can just get the word out, call us on the McLarty Daniel hotline or text us the details, and we will pass it along, because, I think number one, guys, sometimes the best thing we can do is get the word out. I mean, that's what we do. But we can't disseminate the information that we don't have. So get that to us. If there's a chance down the road for us to maybe do our show live from somewhere that's, a donation center or raising funds to help victims, if we can work it out, we'll be there. We want to do what we can. The best thing we can do, what we're good at, is not running a chainsaw. It's letting people know where to go and what to do as far as information in the variety of communities. And the privilege we have is talking to a lot of places in our state at one time. So we can help get the word out in this widespread deal.
When things like this happen, and I don't mean to make light of anything, but the world is run by smart people.
Mm-hmm.
But when things like this happen, You just want a guy that can work a chainsaw.
Yeah.
I mean, when you break it down to its to its bare minimum, I mean, that's what you're looking for right now.
That's what Clay apparently was doing the last couple of days. I don't know if he's certified in the chainsaw side of things.
I think I can maybe refuel it.
There you go.
He carries it around like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
he does. Well, Chuck, you kind of mentioned earlier the idea that games don't matter at this point, and there definitely is some
they matter. I don't mean that they don't matter. I'm just saying that let's keep it in perspective.
Prioritize.
I get where you're coming from that point. Well, I think there's a lot of Arkansas fans. They know their football schedule, but they're still wondering about their basketball schedule. And Cal was in Sandestin yesterday. Got a chance to listen to him for about 10 minutes. It's funny, as popular as Kirby Smart, Lane Kiffin, so you had football writers, reporters that stopped what they were doing to hear from Cal. And all of our coverage is brought to you by Lindbergh Real Estate Group when it comes to Cal. Here's what he said about the schedule.
Some of the games that I've scheduled will be, you get calls from ESPN, different events, CBS, can you do this and this? Until I get the rest of the roster, I probably won't fully do the schedule, but we're in good shape right now. Most of the stuff is done of who we're playing, and then there may be one team that I try to do a home and home with, but we're going to play in Little Rock. I want to play in Dallas. You need national games. You got to play in Madison Square Garden. Look, we want to recruit Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, St. Louis. We do. But we're going to recruit nationally.
So I think it was assumed they were going to play in Little Rock. They've done so, I think, every year, and for 10-plus years with the exception of COVID. Dallas, huge Arkansas population, probably the biggest outside of the state. Didn't 100% say they were locked into Madison Square Garden. Chuck, I know your Knicks play there, but that would be awesome if they somehow figured out to play a game this season in Madison Square Garden.
If you play in Dallas, American Airlines, let's just say that arena where the Mavericks play, who would you want to play? Who would you want to match up? Because you're not going to play Texas or someone like that because they're in your league now. So, Chuck, who would you want to play? I got one team in mind.
Well, I don't know. I really hadn't thought about who I would want to play. I've wondered who it might be. Television's putting these games together, so it's going to be a marquee opponent. It's not like they're going to go to Dallas and play a small school.
No. How about Baylor?
That'd be great. But I don't know that it's necessarily going to be, an Arkansas-Texas type game. It might be a game where we are clearly the home team. We have the majority of the crowd. I don't know. I have no idea. I wouldn't be opposed to playing Baylor. The thing that he said that I thought was interesting and all that was, I'm going to schedule a home and home with somebody. I think we've known, there's still going to be the excitement of exactly, when and where. But I think we've known, when you look at Calipari's history, that his teams are going to play in big-time pre-conference ball games. Mm-hmm. It's either going to be on an aircraft carrier or it's going to be in Madison Square Garden or the United Center. It's going to be a big venue, and everybody's going to be paying attention. So I think we knew that was coming. I want to know who the home and home's going to be with.
My first thought when Tommy and I were talking about it before the show is either Mark Few and Gonzaga or Bill Self in Kansas.
I hope
just based on the history. Now he's in that same conversation. I think if I remember right, he spoke to Mark Few, so that's kind of why I maybe read between the lines a little bit. I'm like you. It's a lot easier to go to Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence, which I think we looked up from Fayetteville. It's like 4 hours, than it is to go to Spokane, Washington, where Gonzaga's campus is.
But Fall Allen, I don't care if you flip-flopped at the facilities. Who doesn't want to go to Fall Allen?
Mm-hmm. And they're doing renovations, if I remember that.
But let's not act like we're going to go up there and take over Fall Allen.
No, you're right.
Tickets are going to be virtually impossible to get. Yeah. They're impossible to get for Kansas fans. And I know they say they're out there on the secondary sites, and they will be. But it won't be like,
can I borrow your kidney? I need to borrow your kidney.
Take that second mortgage out if you're planning on going.
I got the workaround. You're just Chuck's assistant that game. You get a media pass.
What's different about that versus now? I mean,
Man, I'll tell you what, we are high maintenance, Ty. So be careful what you sign on for.
Yeah.
Well, just request your credential. It's not. I think you could go that. But that was one of
the average fan's not going to be able to do that.
Yeah, no, you're right. So he talked about that. There's a few other things he spoke to. One of the things he said, he's been working these 17-hour days, which I thought about trying to work a 17-hour day. That just sounds awful. But maybe I shouldn't be taken aback by this because we're a month into this thing, or a month and a week, whatever it is. But like, I listen to Kirby Smart. I listen to these other. It's probably Smart, and then Kiffin, and then maybe the third coach is Sark, and Sankey's probably above them all. But you had all these football reporters, like guys that's what they do. They left their football stuff to talk to Cal. You and I were kind of talking about this. He was maybe the biggest guy that was there
now that
in
Saban's
Sandestin.
Yeah. Now that Saban's not there, he's the biggest name.
And he almost not sucked the life out of the room, but that still is amazing to me that you got a basketball coach at a predominantly football-based event that was still the biggest item, biggest hot ticket there.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, when he walks in the room, he's the guy, and it'll always be that way. I have to say this. Maybe I shouldn't. I was struck, and still am, by the fact that there was only one reporter from Arkansas that was down there. I believe Christina Long is the only reporter. All the audio, all the video, all that's coming from other media outlets. Now that's, I'm a media guy, and I pay attention to the game within the game when it comes to that. But I was struck by that.
Well,
look, Cal's Elvis, man, and I was struck a little bit by that. Just to be perfectly honest about it.
I think there's two reasons why. Number one, you got a baseball team. Well, a couple things. You've got staffs that are as thin as they've ever been in media, news, sports, and otherwise.
Oh, there's no question.
Fewer bodies than we've ever had to cover.
We've seen that in the tornado coverage.
Absolutely. We have not seen, and Clay talked about this, I think it was on the air, but it may have been in a conversation, the lack of reporting we have because of just people. So that's number one. Number two, we're in the middle of a baseball postseason run, and, it's just, you only got so many hours in the days in the week, and I'm
not being critical. I'm just saying I was struck by that.
I don't, because there were times, Bo Mattingly used to go every year. I would love to do this, but how do you fit it all in?
How do you afford it? It's $900. Chuck, I don't know if you saw this part. Tommy had the best statement of the week yesterday. It's like it rings hollow that the SEC is talking about saving money. I looked up the hotel price of a room down there. It's $841.
Is that right?
Yes.
Wow.
$841.
Well, it's a vacation season too, and Sandestin's not for the timid when it comes to
you know what?
wallet.
I'm glad you brought that up, Chuck, because
great place to meet to talk about belt tightening. It's the Hilton Sandestin.
You've got like these press conferences going on, and like you've got these families that are SEC fans because it's Florida, and there's a lot of
I've been to that. I haven't stayed at that hole. I've been there. It's an awesome place on the beach.
You got these. It's like a weird combination because you got these families walking by while these different coaches are going on. On top of that, now brace yourselves. What else is going on? The Mississippi Realtor Group is down there for their annual conference, so it is a zoo right now.
The Mississippi Realtors Group is meeting in Florida. At
that same hotel, in that same venue. So it's a crazy time there right now. And
it looked to me like when I watched the video of Cal, it looked to me like he was in that area, right by where the elevator is, because you saw the one guy, wheeling the luggage cart by him, and they all had to move. It was a scrum. But you are right, Ty. When Cal walks, I didn't mean to divert the subject, but when Cal walks in the room, everything stops. It's just like, guys, when we saw the picture of him right after he was hired, and he was at that basketball event, and all the other coaches were standing around the floor in their windsuits. Cal's the only guy up on the balcony, and he's in a sport jacket. I mean, he's Cal. That's the deal. And sure, when he walks in the room, it's going to be this way. We're going to see things that even those of us who've been around for a while are going to go, wow, can you believe this?
I also
I've already experienced that, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I also think
Go ahead.
Well, I also think what Chuck's getting at, maybe nonchalantly, is that, hey, we need to be there next year in Sandestin. I think
I'm
that's
trying
what,
to get you a trip, Todd.
I think that's what he's driving
Trying
at,
to take
Tommy,
care of
which I'll happily in the middle of right before.
I understand. I very much understand the why. I'm just saying I thought it was striking that in because look, the SEC meetings used to just be that SEC meetings. Guys that get together down there. Well, look, I love the SEC, and one of the things that makes them great is their marketing. But the truth of the matter is they can't stop talking about themselves. And as they continued to blow their horn, well, media people became attracted to that event, and it's in Sandestin. And if somebody wants to pay for you to go, well, heck yeah, I'm going to go. So all of a sudden it turned into a media event, turned into almost a media contest. Who can be the ones at SEC media or the SEC spring meetings? Frankly, the SEC spring meetings break a lot more news than SEC media days do.
Yeah.
SEC media days is a dog and pony show. The meetings are where the real stuff happens.
You're right, even though I love media days. But the couple of things that have been spoken to that we talked about this week was Sankey talked about maybe updating injuries the week of, which gambling is the biggest proponent of that. You've talked about the scheduling a little bit. I think it's Ross Dellinger reported $3 to $5 million more potentially, depending on how the television networks work out when they move possibly to a 9-game schedule, SEC schedule in 2026. Those are kind of two of the things. And
roster size.
Yeah, roster size is a big thing. What I found interesting though is like Sankey touched all of them, but he wasn't concrete in saying, yeah, this is going to happen this year. He's like, or this week. It's just they were brought up. And I don't know if that's just him waiting till it comes down the pipe or if it's more of, hey, we don't know 100% if these things are going to occur this year or years to come. I'm still kind of waiting on that timeline a little bit for some of those.
Well, we've all been in meetings where you discuss things, maybe to the point of, you're tired of discussing it, but you don't arrive at a final decision. And I think that's kind of what meetings are. So they're going to do that. Pardon me. But I don't know that, if you kind of follow it, they'll discuss a lot of things in the meetings, and then you'll begin to see some movement over the course of the summer. There's going to be announcements today regarding television, and I suspect you're going to get into that a little bit later, so I'll wait to bring that up. I am going to pause and talk about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, and I will go back and mention what they've done as far as tornado relief. And I'm not saying it to toot their horn. I'm saying it because I want to emphasize that their business and lots of businesses take a lot of pride in being part of the community. Yes, everybody's trying to do business and everybody's trying to make a profit, and that's the way it works. And Weichert Griffin's no different than anybody else in that regard. But there are also moments like this where we've all got to come together. They've been a part of that, and I know many others have as well. But it, again, I believe represents what they are and who they are. That's why I partnered with them years ago, first time I bought a home. It's why they've been my partners every step of the way, because I think they're good people. And at the end of the day, you want to do business with good people. And that's what you'll experience. That was my experience. I'm not going to say any more about homes and things like that today. But I will tell you that that was my experience with them every step of the way, and I think it'll be your experience too. Now, they've got offices in Northwest Arkansas. They're in Washington and Benton counties. They're in Fort Smith. They're in Branson. They do have a wide selection of homes, and you can check it out at WeichertGriffin.com.
Chuck, I'm glad you brought that up because we talked about that a little bit this week, and the TV times. I want to save that for the 7 o'clock hour as we kind of round out the 6 o'clock hour. Back to Cal. He did get updated information. I think he knew all along, but it was publicly official as of yesterday that John L. Davis is not entering or staying in the draft. He's staying in college. A name to watch that became official last night is Coleman Hawkins. Coleman Hawkins, the outstanding power forward / shooting forward from Illinois. You played him 2 years ago in Des Moines, Iowa. He got really good last year. He's going to be one of the more marketable players in the transfer portal. He is not staying in the NBA draft process. That's probably one of the guys that you want to keep an eye on in terms of a possibility of ending up as an Arkansas Razorback. A couple other news, like Mark Sears, He's coming back to Alabama, unfortunately. So you're going to have to deal with him and Grant Nelson. That'll be a good 1-2 punch as it was last year. And then I saw Caravan for UConn is coming back there. But some notable names last night, Chuck, that decided to come back.
No doubt. I thought about what Matt Jones told me about 3 or 4 weeks ago. He said the quality of play in college basketball is going to improve dramatically because kids who would go to the NBA when they're not ready will come back to college because of NIL, because of the ability to make money. They'll hone their game, and by simply those instances, the college game will get better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they also, I know we haven't had a chance to talk with you yet this week. Arkansas did get some encouraging news over the weekend. Richard Davenport reports that DJ Wagner has committed to the Arkansas Razorbacks, which I know people were kind of wondering if that was happening. You thought it was. He has an official visit a couple weeks ago and then commits to Arkansas. So while he hasn't technically signed yet, there's no reports of that. You do, if you look at that as a signing, that's 8 scholarship players that you have, and sounds like Cal's still aiming for that 9 based on his comments yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, he said 8. You know, he used that number yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, and said I want to get one more. So obviously he's counting DJ Wagner as being in the fold. It's going to be interesting to see who that one is. You know, he also said some things, and I don't know what you're going to play as we move along here, but about his walk-ons.
Yeah.
He said, my walk-ons are going to be on scholarship. They're just not going to get NIL.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the walk-ons, the way he explained it, was that they're basically going to get what the players got before NIL. You know, if you're eligible for a Pell Grant, you get that. Whatever student aid you are eligible for, you get. And you get the scholarship benefits, what I would call the old scholarship benefits now, which are still pretty dang good if you want to get right down to it. So I thought that was an interesting comment. And it sounds like he might want 2 or 3 of those type players based on what he said. But it also sounds like, hey, you're coming to school, we're going to pay for everything, but you're not going to play.
Yeah. So we'll get into, I do have that clipped out. We'll get into some of that, more Cal stuff, and I don't have any Sam Pittman audio, but some of what he had to say in hour 2 along with recap and Sankey.
Throwback Thursday today at Joe's Grill and Cantina on South 74th Street in Fort Smith. They'll have an old Cuco's platter on special today for lunch. You can check their Facebook page. They'll have a picture up of it in just a little while. Tomorrow's Fajita Friday featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken fajitas. I love the fajitas there because they got real flavor and real taste, and the vegetables are really good. It's just high quality. Plus, you get everything with the fixings. You get the cheese, you get the sour cream, you get the guac, you get all of it. And it is always a great deal with a special fajitas. Try the brisket fajitas tomorrow at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great place to watch baseball, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps in Fort Smith.
Hey, Diamond Hog fans. The road to Omaha is smooth sailing, but the road to co-parenting, not so much. If you are in a divorce or custody dispute and need real advice at a reasonable price, call me, Jackie Mock, at Mock Legal Solutions, 479-769-1505. With me at Cleanup, we're sure to cross home plate. Go Hogs.
Arkansas is headed back to Omaha.
Celebrate freedom in a new RV from Camping World in Van Buren, Arkansas. For a limited time, get into a new RV starting at just $104 per month and see America for less. As part of America's #1 RV network, we've got an RV for every lifestyle and a payment for every budget. Buy with confidence at Camping World, knowing every RV comes with a 3-year Good Sam Elite membership and access to our nationwide service network. Make sure your next summer adventure is the best one yet. Click, call, or visit Camping World in Van Buren today. Certain restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Hey, Arkansas, are you feeling lucky? Because the Lotto jackpot is seriously over $2 million right now. A jackpot this high won't last long. And this one is only won in Arkansas. Some lucky player could be buying the winning ticket right now. Play twice a week for your chance at a life-changing jackpot. Tickets start at only $2. Don't miss Lotto, only in Arkansas. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
This is the Morning Rush.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news about our first ever trade-in acquisition event. We need your trade, so now through Memorial Day, get your state sales tax paid when you trade for any one of our road-ready certified vehicles. That's right, state sales tax paid when you trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What'd you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
The Old Fort Days is underway, and you can go in style with the all-new official Old Fort Days merchandise. Available now at the main gate at Harper Stadium or at Jelco Outdoors. Caps, t-shirts, hat stickers, drinkware, and more for the family. Support your local Old Fort Days rodeo. Go in style with new apparel. Old Fort Days official merchandise. Wear the brand. Get your official Old Fort Days merchandise outside Harper Stadium or at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunny to partly cloudy skies. Our temperatures this afternoon upper 70s with a slight chance of showers and storms across the south. Chance of a few showers or scattered thunderstorms tonight, low to mid 60s. And then occasional showers and storms Friday, mid to upper 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 91 days. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
Which teams are you talking to right now about potentially playing for non-conference?
Most of the stuff is done of who we're playing, and then there may be one team that I try to do a home-and-home with, but we're going to play in Little Rock. We want to play in Dallas. You need national games. You got to play in Madison Square Garden. There's things. Look, we want to recruit Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, St. Louis. We do. But we're going to recruit nationally.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studio. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Kristen Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bensenville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
And we welcome you in to hour number 2 of the Morning Rush on a Too Stupid Thursday. Might come back to that veterinarian and thong story with Chuck because he hadn't had a chance to talk about it just yet. But we got Mike Griffith.
Well, he wouldn't want to miss out on that.
Well, I did hear you say that, Ty, at the beginning of the program, and I'm not going to lie to you. It scared the hell out of me because I didn't know exactly what was going to happen there. But
well, you weren't sitting in the chair next to him, you know.
Tommy,
yeah, it was quite a story.
Tommy's first thought was
I unbuckled my seatbelt for a quick exit in case I needed to
get out.
I'm thinking, well, I'm going to have a free morning.
Yeah, treetop version. This guy was having an affair. His puppy ate the woman's thong. His wife found out, and it was the vet's first day on the job. So that's a tough first day on the job, and now the wife keeps the dog in the divorce, kind of the treetop version of that. But you brought up scheduling in the last hour, and when I heard Sankey, there's a couple things I took away from his 40 minutes, but I was kind of drawn to that, and so I want to discuss that. Hopefully we'll get to Mike coming up in just a bit as well.
All right, we'll handle all of that this hour. This hour of the Morning Rush brought to you by the Fence Man. If you own a business or a home that needs just more curb appeal or more security, get both with a great-looking fence from the Fence Man. They can go all out with a custom wrought iron installation with powered automatic gates, custom fit for your project or your lot or your home or your business, or they can make sure that, hey, it just gets the job done. This is an 8-foot chain link security fence with razor wire around the top if that's what you need to secure a site, or a 6-foot, 8-foot wood privacy fence around the backyard of your home. No job's too big or small. They can help you handle any fencing need you have. 782-3936, 479-782-3936, the Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
So I'm a planner, right? I've got my schedule.
I've known planner, yes.
And it's...
maybe even a noted planner.
Yes. And it's... I like the hard copy, right? And so when I heard Greg Sankey talk about kickoff times, I was immediately like, all right, what does he have to say? And I like what he had to say.
We looked at the future of our television relationship way back in 2019, 2020, is trying to be more intentional and out ahead of kickoff time announcements for our fans. I want to work back. We'll have some 6-day and 12-day adjustments, but those will be flexes between the afternoon and evening windows. You're going to have a whole primer on this when we go to media days, and you'll see it play out. So by mid-June, we will announce all of our early window kickoff times.
Now, he goes on for another minute or so, but I think it's today that we're going to get the first 3 weeks, Chuck, and then mid-June, as you just heard, that we're going to hear more. I love it, man. Plan it out. Let people know if they have to stay the night, stay the weekend. I mean, are you probably not going to be on?
Are we doing ribs or are we doing egg casserole for the tailgate? What are we doing here?
You might get a more 11 a.m. games than you traditionally like, but at least you know way out ahead of time, and I'm a fan of it.
Well, I think it's great. You know, the one thing, and I loved CBS. I'll be very honest with you. I think CBS's production of college football is better than anybody else's.
Hear, hear.
And I think ESPN and ABC have to step up their game. But you always had to wait on CBS. CBS had the first choice, and everybody else had to wait. All the ESPN 2s and 3s and 4s and pluses and SEC Network, everybody had to wait on CBS. Now you don't have to wait. It's all under one umbrella. And I think that's one of the positive dividends of the way they're going right now. And I think it's good for everybody.
And let's be honest, if my waiting can cause an inconvenience for my competitor, then wait we shall. You know, and CBS and ABC are competitors. Well, now you don't really have you don't have a competitor in the mix because ABC, ESPN controls all of the property. So
well, now I don't know that all that's good, but I think this is a positive dividend of the partnership.
Again, but I'm just going to say if my patience and my foot dragging in my decision process causes some heartburn for my competition, then so be it.
Well,
and you won't have
but
that
yes,
now.
yes,
you're taking that out of the equation is my point.
Right,
and believe you me, that somewhere was buried in all of that algebra.
And they just wanted to know what the best game of the week was going to be, and sometimes you have to wait a week to figure that out. So,
be all of that as it may, what this means for the viewer is that you're going to be able to plan your week. Now, there's some things when you really delve into this that may or may not be great for, in our case, Razorback fans.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not be naive and think that they're going to spread it around. Well, you got to be on primetime at least twice. Or, when he's talking about setting these early games, I doubt very seriously that these marquee games are going to be in that early window.
No.
Yeah.
These marquee games are going to be in the primetime window, and the flex games are going to be the ones that they think might be a good game, but they're not really sure until they get there. So what we're going to have early on, I suspect, is word coming down that a lot of teams, and I hope we're not one of them, to be honest, for our fans, but some of these teams are going to find a lot of their games in that early kickoff window. And what I wonder as we move forward is there the possibility? I mean, do you move from an early kickoff team to a flex team to a primetime team? How does all this work?
Mm-hmm.
I do like the fact that we're going to know. I think that's great. But I don't think you want to get stuck. You don't want to get stuck in a tier that you can't get out of, to where you know that whatever happens, we're playing at 11 o'clock. You don't want to be that team.
Well, let's talk to someone who's live there in Sandestin right now that not only listened to what Greg Sankey had to say about schedules, but other things throughout the week. Is Mike Griffith of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution joins us. Griff, we appreciate you joining us this morning. We'll start with the schedule. What did you think about Sankey's comments this week and kind of getting not just Arkansas fans, but SEC fans out in front of this fall?
Well, first of all, I flew back last night. I'm not sticking around for ADs and pros. I was there for the coaches, man. I'm not going to stick around for 3 games to be released. I flew back last night to Atlanta, and like you, I was glad that these kickoffs are going to be announced early. Why not get it out of the way? There's some games you can look at and say, yeah, hard to believe this could be a good game. Might as well schedule it now. If it works out, great. Maybe the 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock window gets a bone, but I like the more direct scheduling. I think it's good for travel plans. I think it's good for sponsors, and yet they still allow for the flex. So I was good with that. There really wasn't a whole lot to me that came out of there that was quote-unquote news, right? It was discussion, and it's just kind of where college football is at. We're kind of in this gray area, this transition period. It's kind of frustrating, because I know people want solutions and answers and how's it going to be. You think about it, though, and college football especially, it's kind of always been in a state of flux when you think about it, when you think about the technology, the way the game's grown, the way the equipment's changed, the way the rules have changed, the way the student-athletes have changed, the dynamics of the big money sport that it's become. So it seems more pronounced now because of the court cases, and where the change is taking place is in a public forum. The change isn't taking place within the game. It's not as fluid of a change. But college football has always been in a state of flux if you think about it over the years.
Mike, while there wasn't maybe a lot of substantial stuff from Sankey and some of the others, you did get a chance to catch up with Cal, and I found it funny that a lot of football guys that predominantly cover that sport were talking to him. Did you take anything away from listening to Cal about 10 minutes yesterday?
Yeah, man. I asked Cal a ton of questions. I was driving the interview, man. I love me some Cal. I mean, he's a rock star. I'll never forget, when Cal was at Memphis, kind of a sidebar conversation. When he was at Memphis, I was covering Tennessee. And so that was the peak of the Tennessee-Memphis basketball rivalry between him and Bruce Pearl. And Cal was not complimentary of the SEC at that time. He talks down his nose at everybody. That's part of Cal, which makes him cool, right? I mean, he's the dude. And he was going at the year before he took over at Kentucky. He said something about SEC writers voting in the AP top 25 and insulted their intelligence because they didn't have Memphis ranked high enough, whatever. So he didn't make a lot of friends in the SEC. So when he came to the first basketball media days as a Kentucky coach, it's fair to say there was a lot of reporters that were eager to get to Cal and ask him a lot of tough questions about UMass, about his time at Memphis, about Derrick Rose, et cetera, et cetera. So we're firing all these bullets at Cal. We're throwing all these fastballs at him. And Cal literally takes a step back. I think he might have had on one of those gray $1,000 suits he has, the hair is perfect, he's on point, intellect. And he steps back and he says, guys, you're shooting arrows through a bazooka-sized hole. If you want to keep asking me these kind of questions, we can do it. But I'm here to talk about the Kentucky Wildcats in basketball. And I was just like, oh, this dude is good, man. This dude is good. And Cal is still good. And listening to that interview yesterday, I was struck by the irony of John Calipari being a sympathetic figure for however temporary, as much of an underdog as Arkansas basketball can be, because the tradition there is unbelievable. Bud Walton is rock and roll. I mean, Arkansas basketball does not go with the word underdog. But right now, the way Cal's playing this, we got no team, we got no schedule. But at the end of the day, somebody asks him if they're going to compete, and he's like, yeah, we're going to compete. He's talking about going to Madison Square Garden. He's talking about recruiting nationally. I mean, it's just, I'm so excited to see what happens. I think it's a great marriage. I think it's fantastic for Arkansas, and I'm excited for Cal, and I'm going to be pulling for Cal. I really am. I want to see Cal succeed, man, because I think he's a great coach. I think he's a fantastic personality, and him and Arkansas together, to me, are going to be one of the most compelling storylines in college basketball this year.
Hey, Mike, were you there in that media scrum when everybody was talking to Cal yesterday?
Yeah, like I said, I asked about 5 or 6 of the questions. I was right there. Yeah, for sure.
Paint the picture for us. How did all that go down?
Like you said, all the football coaches are coming out, and everybody's, Scott Strickland, the Florida AD, standing over there. I mean, but I spy Cal, and just seeing Cal in an Arkansas top, he's wearing his colors. First thing he says, I don't have a lot of red stuff. So I've had to wear this a lot. I don't know what top he's wearing. He's wearing the Arkansas top. Seeing John Calipari in Arkansas top, right? Like, your brain's got to twist around because you've been in Kentucky so long.
Right.
And so you're seeing Cal in Arkansas top. He's still Cal. He looks great, looks the same, great shape, great, mentally he's ready. He's enjoying the interview. Cal loves the scrum. Cal loves the challenges. He loves the tough questions. I mean, he's a competitor, and it brings out the best in him. And I'll tell you what, guys. If you go to the Dog Nation YouTube page, the whole interview with Cal is on that page. Go to the Dog Nation YouTube page, and you can see the whole interview. I stood there and I videoed it start to finish because John Calipari is a rock star, and there's only certain coaches I taped other than Kirby. I covered Georgia, so I'm going to do Kirby Smart. I'm going to do DeBoer. I'm going to do whatever, Sarkisian. But when I saw John Cal, I said, I'm going to this is going to be a video I'm going to do because John is a rock star. His interviews are fantastic. It's a compelling story. So if you go to YouTube and go to the Dog Nation page, you can see the whole interview. It's kind of in front of a hallway off to the side. There was probably about 8 people there asking questions to Cal. Like you said, football drives the train, and most everybody's into that. But I just don't know how you could resist that storyline of Arkansas basketball and John Calipari together, and what he's going to do with the program, how he's going to do it. I mean, he went over all of it, and he's in complete control. Yeah, he's playing the card that we have to start over. And I asked him, I said, do you kind of relish this? Do you kind of relish the opportunity, to build and start from, because he's been the heavy for so long. I mean, Calipari is always supposed to win, right? Like, he always has the best players. He's always at the best program. Well, now he's in a restart situation. And he really seems energized by it and enthused by it. And he really did seem to enjoy that interview.
All right, let's get you out of here on this one. I think you may have already answered it, but I want to know what you really think on this since you cover Kirby Smart. But now with Nick Saban no longer on the head coach roster in this league, regardless of sport, is John Calipari the biggest name in this conference, or is Kirby Smart the biggest name? Who is the biggest rock star in the SEC regardless of sport?
Well, I mean, it's two different sports. I mean, Cal's Cal. I mean, Cal's a national name that goes beyond the SEC. I mean, he was in the NBA. He was in the Northeast. The whole Kentucky one. Cal captured national attention. Different types of coaches. I mean, Kirby's more of the folk hero, played at his school, SEC, regional. I don't think Kirby gets the national respect that he probably should. Maybe from a national media perspective, Cal's been on top and been in the spotlight so long, and Cal knows how to command the spotlight. John Calipari is a showman, and that's part of it. He's a very good basketball. He's a Hall of Fame basketball coach, but he's a showman. He's part of the show. You're not just going to watch the team; you're going to watch Cal, right? Kirby's a little bit more of a combative football guy with his bias. Doesn't really want the spotlight. Kirby will give you some good quotes and knows how to control the media, but it's not about that. Cal understands that getting attention is part of the job. It's part of what attracts kids to him. It's part of what gets his program national attention. And Arkansas hired him to be John Calipari, not to be, what Mark Pope. It's interesting because, somebody asked him, well, what do you think of the Pope hire? He says it's good. And listen, I don't know Mark Pope. I don't know this guy. I don't. Let me just repeat that. I don't know the Kentucky coach. I don't know who this guy is. He's a big lumbering guy that coached somewhere else before this year. I know who John Calipari is. I know who has the more famous and the more accomplished coach between Arkansas and Kentucky. So chew on that for a minute.
Well, I think Arkansas fans love to hear that. Mike, we'll leave it there. Mike Griffith again covers Georgia and the SEC for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Mike, appreciate you joining us. We'll see you in a month in Dallas, Texas.
All right, guys. Enjoy.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, good stuff. Again, Mike was in part of that 8-person scrum, as he called it. Chuck, I kind of thought it was funny. You kind of spoke to it earlier. You got that going on, plus there's people that are checking in the hotel. Not exactly the best place to hold one of those interviews, but I guess that's just where they decided to do it yesterday.
Well, he said a few things in there that registered with me. Calipari does love that. I mean, he loves the give and take. You can tell that he does. And the media, and I've said this a million times, the media love people who love them. And that's who they love the most. And Cal enjoys the exchanges. He's not intimidated by it. My early impression of John Calipari, and I've always thought this about him, but just kind of being around it a little more now, is that my initial impression is that there is an intense competitive fire within that guy. Yes, he is a showman, and that's part of it. He's got all the attributes that every star has. But in sports, if you go to every star, beneath all that is a fierce competitor, someone who competes at everything. And my early impression of Calipari is that beneath all this other stuff, this guy wants to whip your butt. And that's what he's going about the business of doing at Arkansas. I see a really well-motivated 65-year-old man right now is what I see.
So we'll get more into. I think some of the news coming out of Destin is very interesting, and scheduling is one of it. But I think for that moment, at least, Cal sucked all the oxygen out of the room.
All right, so
he's awesome.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. We've got more on Greg Sankey, some of what Sam Pittman had to say. But our Morning Rush Daily question is coming up. Grant Cook, Fayetteville Bulldog, Arkansas Razorback, made his major league debut last night. I want to talk about if you had a chance with any athleticism whatsoever to play professional sports, where would you want to make your major league debut? We'll talk about that coming up.
ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app is live at the 2024 Fayetteville Regional. Exclusive coverage is presented by Mock Legal Solutions. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price. Arvest Bank. Arvest is ready to help. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by Camping World. Camping World in Poteau and Van Buren, and online at campingworld.com. The road to Omaha starts now.
Call up the Omahawks. Yes, sir.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill Bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
At Arvest Bank, we believe in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to working with and supporting those who serve our communities. From the ones who are making a difference in big and small ways every day, to those who are helping create better tomorrows. We appreciate everything you do, and we're proud to work alongside you. Because every community deserves a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank. We believe.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
Touchdown, Arkansas!
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Get 1.9% financing for well-qualified buyers on a GMC Sierra 1500 at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra 1500 has a 5.3-liter V8 engine, so you can conquer the road with confidence. Get 1.9% financing and $3,250 in purchase allowance when you trade an eligible vehicle. See the new GMC Sierra 1500 at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hi, Jim Cash, fourth-generation jeweler and owner of the Diamond Center. I'm excited to announce our second annual Kiss and Tell event, and we would love to see you. I will be in store for 2 days, Friday and Saturday, June 7th and 8th, to negotiate every piece of jewelry. This event is special because this is the best pricing of the year and all still backed by our free lifetime warranty. Come and make me an offer during these 2 days only for our Kiss and Tell event here at the Diamond Center. Visit us before for more details. Again, those dates are Friday and Saturday, June 7th and 8th at the Diamond Center, a legacy of love.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSAuto.com.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The corporal will wait for an answer.
Want to congratulate former Arkansas Razorback and Fayetteville Bulldog Grant Cook in his Major League debut yesterday. Scored a run in the 10-2 Pirates win over the Chicago White Sox.
Busted open, high fly ball, center field. This will do it. Wow, keeps carrying all the way to the edge of the warning track, and McCutcheon will also advance. That's big. Sac fly for Reynolds. Brings home Grant Cook, who scores his first big league run. Pirates lead at 6-2.
Excuse me, the Detroit Tigers. But congratulations for Grant. I know that's a big deal for him, his family, and all of his former teammates, Dave Van Horn and the coaching staff there. Remember the 2018 College World Series final team. So as I'm watching this highlight yesterday, it's like, man, my dad gave me some athleticism back the way. If it was generational of sorts, love my dad. It's great in every way, except he just is not the biggest athlete. Where would I like to make my Major League debut? I thought mine would be Monday Night Football in Lambeau Field. As a Packers fan, I just think that would be the coolest thing ever. Cold fall or wintry night in Lambeau Field. That would be where I want to make my Major League debut.
Well, that would be NFL debut.
What did I say? Professional debut. Let me change that. So if you can make a debut,
okay,
whether it's
any
St. Louis Cardinals, any professional sport, you have a chance to make a debut. And I kept saying Major League. Professional debut. Where would it be at?
Augusta National.
How did I know you were going to say that?
You can play golf forever, make a lot of money, and don't have to please a coach to get on the field.
It's very true.
It's all on you.
Just please yourself. Or
you don't have to, it's all on you. Just you and the score, you and the course.
Chuck, where could you envision yourself making your professional debut if God had gifted you a great athleticism instead of a great voice back in the day?
I'm just trying to picture being 21 again. Probably Busch Stadium.
Yeah.
The old Busch Stadium, I might add. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, it would be Busch 2. It would be Busch 2. That would be my era.
That'd be pretty cool. Watching that, whether it's opening day or watching the opening weekend for the NFL season. You've got it for NBA. Playing in like Boston or TD Garden or playing in Loud City as an Oklahoma City fan, that'd be awesome. But I just think Monday Night Football in Lambeau Field would be about as great as it gets.
I mean, that wouldn't be bad. Hey, let me say this about old Grant Cook, too. I'm a Cardinal fan, so I draw all Cardinal analogies. But, Tim McCarver really made a name for himself being Bob Gibson's catcher. And then when he was with the Phillies for years, even when he was getting old, he was always Steve Carlton's catcher. Grant Cook's been Paul Skeens' catcher. He was his catcher at Indianapolis for their AAA team. That's why he's in the big leagues right now. And he caught yesterday because Skeens pitched. And we may be in a situation where Paul Skeens wants to pitch to Grant Cook. And who knows?
Paul's had a pretty good couple starts for the Pirates, and it was his birthday.
He's 2-0 and with a minuscule ERA. I mean, it shows you, again, that there's not that big a gap between the SEC and the highest levels.
And
if Paul Skeens can do it, why not Hagen Smith?
And just a reminder,
he's not the only one.
Arkansas never lost to Paul Skeens last season. Just a friendly reminder to all the Arkansas baseball fans.
They did better than the Cubs.
Yeah. Well,
Christian, you care to respond to that? No, your Cubs.
Christian's not saying anything right now because he knows my surging Cardinals.
Cubs are
have
cold
pulled
right
even
now.
with the Cubs in the standings after last night.
All right.
Christian knows that. You guys may not, but Christian knows it.
Yeah, I know it.
That is your Morning Rush Daily question.
You didn't sound happy about it.
Yeah.
No, it sucks going through a slump.
Well, that's hopefully.
I don't even want to watch.
Well, that is your Morning Rush Daily question presented by our friends at Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Sawyer's. Sunrooms, patio covers, pergolas, driveways, and windows, including decorative concrete. 100% financing available. No job too small or large. Everything for the outside of the house.
Jace from Lowell said he's been around a lot of NFL team of players, and he doesn't feel like it is as magical as some other sports. J18 Hot Springs says Fenway. That's where he would like to make his.
That wouldn't be a bad debut spot.
It'd be pretty cool.
I'd still like to debut at Wrigley, though.
It'd be
that'd be awesome,
nothing
too.
wrong with Wrigley.
There's some historic ballparks in the Major League. There's no question about that.
Hey, I'll bet for Grant Cook playing in either Detroit or Pittsburgh last night was a pretty good deal.
And yeah, it is cool possibly to have that connection with Paul Skeens, because I anticipate he's going to have a pretty long Major League career based on his initial start. All right, so we were talking about Cal earlier with Mike Griffith, who joined us. He was in Destin, back in Atlanta. Georgia's got a big opening game. I think it's Clemson and Mercedes-Benz Stadium to start. And he brought up some of the things Cal had to say yesterday. And I thought one of the interesting things was what Chuck and I touched on a little bit in the first hour was the walk-on situation. It's kind of traditional, kind of not. You just give me a take on this.
It's a different era. A walk-on for me will be on full scholarship, have the Pell if he's eligible, the student money, the camp money, like the old days of full scholarship. So he's fine. He's just not going to be, he's got to work his way into the NIL. And still means I'm going to play the best people, but we have not really started on those other 2 or 3 positions.
So you got 8 guys right now, scholarship players, and then kind of just heard his walk-on situation, which I think some coaches do differently nowadays.
What I hear in that is, hey, we're going to be looking for the best 3 or 4 players that can make our practices better, that can compete with the players we have, and make practice better. I know graduate assistants and GAs are becoming a larger part of practices in this landscape today. So, I mean, essentially what you're signing up for, Chuck, is you're going to be a practice player.
It's what it sounds like. Certainly what it sounds like. Sounds like there's going to be benefits involved, clearly. But
probably a better deal than the GA. So.
And, yeah, maybe so. Yeah, you're getting paid more than the GA when you factor in the scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to me, and this is a long way of saying we're going to have to see what he decides to do. But look at the changes that Cal's talked about since he's been at Arkansas. Now, I don't know all the inner workings of the way he did things at Kentucky, but when he's talking about the way he's going to recruit, the blend of old and new, which is a stark difference from the way he's done things before. When he talks about a roster of 8 or 9 guys, that's entirely different than what we've heard him talk about before. When he talks about walk-ons, being on scholarship, I've never heard anybody say that before. I've never heard a head coach in any sport talk about walk-ons the way he did yesterday in terms of what he would like, how he would like to work that program. But you look at all these things, and I'll go back to what I said a little bit earlier. This is one motivated coach right now who's accomplished just about everything there is to accomplish. But we are seeing, and perhaps those who followed his career more closely than us can really delve into it more deeply than we can. But my sense is we're looking at a guy right now who is recharging beyond just what normal recharging generally entails. He's changing his philosophy. And for a guy who's already in the Hall of Fame, whose philosophy's gotten him into the Hall of Fame, I don't think that's anything that should be ignored. We'll draw an analogy to Saban. It's a natural analogy in our part of the world. I don't know if it applies or not. Time will tell. But I do think it's worthy of note, the things that he's talking about. And I've followed him enough to know this, that he's talking about things he's never talked about before. And that's why I say I think we are getting a rejuvenated coach who is ready to go out there and beat some teams.
Hungry.
And he elaborated on kind of what Chuck was talking about, so we'll just go right to it.
I think of last year's team and what we were able to do and playing so many young guys, but the lesson was you can't do this now with 7 freshmen. You just can't. You're going to hit a team that's 25 years old on average. One was 26, and that team's physically going to get you. And it's just so now we have a couple transfers that are older, some kids that transferred from Kentucky that went through it and are a year older, and some freshmen. But we're going to recruit nationally. And the only thing is we're not going to take 6, 7 freshmen. Now it'll be 3 or 4. Hopefully retain a few, get a couple transfers, and that is the formula. You ready? Today. That may not work, and then you'll say, well, you said, well, I changed my mind. I didn't like how it looked.
He's got 3 freshmen. He's got 2 non-Kentucky transfers and 3 Kentucky transfers. So basically what he said right there is at least played out with this initial roster. And he said at the tail end, if you missed it, kind of trail, that's not the best audio, but he said, that's what we're doing today. That's what we're doing right now. Because
it's going to change. There's the potential for it to change again with revenue share.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And again, nationally, mentioned, of course, our home state right here in Arkansas, St. Louis, Dallas, kind of surrounding states and what they're going to do. But, I mean, some of these kids that are on right now are California kids. Wagner's a New Jersey kid, as is Boogie Flan. Like, if you're a great player, you're probably going to, it doesn't really matter where you play high school or AAU ball, you're probably going to take a look at Arkansas now based on the contacts that have been made. But yeah, there was definitely some interesting things that came out of Cal's conversation with the media yesterday, Chuck.
Hey, guys, let me talk to you about Sawyer Sunrooms. And I say sunrooms, but really, if it involves the outer part of your home, they can do it. Sunrooms, patio covers, pergolas, driveways, windows, decorative concrete. Buzz Sawyer's the guy. If you follow the Northside Grizzlies, you know who Buzz Sawyer is. There's a locally owned company. They've been around since 1990. They've got these new motorized louvered pergolas. So if you're interested in a project outside your home, make sure you ask about that. They've got 100% financing available. No jobs too large or too small. They're licensed and bonded. They're insured on all sizes of projects, commercial, residential, lifetime warranties. You can log on to Sawyers-sunrooms.com.
We ran a little long with Mike Griffith earlier, so Tom's going to join us in the 8 o'clock hour. We'll get his thoughts on the upcoming series, the upcoming regional this week, and some of the things that you just heard from Cal and Sam Pittman and Greg Sankey, too. One of the things that we haven't talked with Chuck about just yet is the walk-on situation. We just heard Cal talking about walk-ons and maybe what changes within the confines of not just SEC, but college football moving forward, too.
Yeah, and I thought one of the statements of the week, I don't know if you read Texas A&M's new AD's Trev Albert's statement about, the revenue has always grown at a pace we could keep up with our own dumb decisions. College athletics is going to have to tighten the belt, essentially, and look at expenses. And that was one of kind of the eye-opening statements. Again, I think some of it falls a little bit hollow when you're at an $800 a night resort on beachfront property talking about, hey, we got to cut expenses.
Yep. Real quick before we tell you about Gaston's, did get an update for the second game of the season in Stillwater, Oklahoma, Boone Pickens Stadium, 11 o'clock on Fox, according to Brett McMurphy. So bright and early in Stillwater, guys. Got that update just in the last 5 minutes.
I was hoping that would be a night game.
I was too. I mean, I've been to Boone Pickens tonight. I've seen Bedlam. That's an underrated college football venue. My aunt's a grad. We've got a couple other friends. You're more like-minded with Oklahoma State fans than you are Oklahoma fans. It's unfortunate that it's at 11 a.m.
That is, because that's a place you'd like to go and set up and tailgate all day,
yeah.
and you could drive to, and you know, a night game would be perfect because you could start your day in Arkansas, go to the game, and end your day in Arkansas as well. So
get some cheese fries from Eskimo Joe's. Now you're just gonna have to get them post game. It sounds like, or get them Friday night
because the wait and the line won't be long at all at Eskimo Joe's.
Go Stella. Hey, beat them by 3 touchdowns. They won't go out that night. You'll have the whole place to yourself.
There you go. Hey, Gaston's White River Resort. They're just like a lot of our friends and neighbors. They're recovering from the storms earlier this week, or really this past weekend, and they're hoping to be fully operational in the next day or two. So if you had a reservation, I'm sure they've been in touch with you. If you're thinking about maybe making Gaston's part of your plans for lunch or dinner maybe, or just stopping in this weekend, might call ahead at 870-431-5202 and see how things are going. But just like a lot of places, there's trees down. They were without power. That meant the restaurant couldn't operate. And slowly but surely, they're getting through the cleanup. There's pictures on their Facebook page where you can see some trees and debris and stuff that on a few of the cabins even went through the roof of the structure. So they've got some work to do, but hey, they're going to be back at it, hopefully up and fully running by this weekend and taking care of all of your family getaway needs as we hit the summer months. 870-431-5202. Call Clint and his crew, and they'll make sure that you got a place that you can bring your family, your friends, your coworkers, and make memories that last a lifetime. 870-431-5202. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
The Cal era is here. Championship Under Construction is brought to you by Limbird Real Estate Group, serving all of Northwest Arkansas, Missouri, and the River Valley. For all your real estate needs, go to LimbirdTeam.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I want to talk about their pizza today. The Goob Special with extra pepperoni and rib rub on top. The Parm Special with double mushroom and jalapenos. Don't forget about the bacon cheeseburger and everyone's favorite, the old trash can. Swing on by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith, or give them a call at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. And you've got beer and football, nothing is hard, until the other team scores. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus, copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
The Old Fort Days is underway, and you can go in style with the all-new official Old Fort Days merchandise. Available now at the main gate at Harper Stadium or at Jelco Outdoors. Caps, t-shirts, hat stickers, drinkware, and more for the family. Support your local Old Fort Days rodeo. Go in style with new apparel. Old Fort Days official merchandise. Wear the brand. Get your official Old Fort Days merchandise outside Harper Stadium or at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey and Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey and Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey and Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Dallas Street Dental. Refuse to compromise when it comes to replacing missing teeth. Dr. Bill Ligon at Dallas Street Dental can make your smile look, feel, and function almost exactly the way it did before you lost any teeth. In some cases, even better. Dental implants function like your natural teeth and make it possible for you to enjoy those juicy steaks this grilling season. Look younger and smile with confidence with dental implants from Dallas Street Dental. Schedule your free implant consultation today at 479-452-6600.
Get 1.9% financing for well-qualified buyers on a GMC Sierra 1500 at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra 1500 has a 5.3-liter V8 engine, so you can conquer the road with confidence. Get 1.9% financing and $3,250 in purchase allowance when you trade an eligible vehicle. See the new GMC Sierra 1500 at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir. Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
So if you missed it, it was reported by Brett McMurphy of the Action Network that Arkansas is going to play Oklahoma State in Stillwater this season, week number 2 at 11 a.m. on Fox. Guys, I'm kind of like you, a little disappointed. I was excited to go to Stillwater regardless, but puts a slight damper on things.
I got to be honest. I didn't realize this was going to be a Fox game. I guess it's a Big 12 game since it's in a Big 12 stadium. I didn't realize that. That's interesting to me.
There are text in my group messages right now that are mentioning words that I can't utter on air based on the game time announcement, because that's an easy. We're talking about the possibility of playing Kansas in basketball. I mean, Stillwater's what, 3.5 from Fayetteville? I mean, it's a good
You're
part.
Either going to have to get up really early Saturday or you're going to have to go Friday night.
Yeah. So, staying with Stillwater, there's not many hotels in Stillwater.
That's not the easiest place to stay. I've been to Stillwater several times, and the Hampton Inn's kind of the nicest place in town.
And I
bet there are a lot of Razorback fans in Tulsa.
Yep.
And that's where I was. Yeah, that's where I was going to go. But it's still an hour and a half from Tulsa to Stillwater.
It's not right down the road.
No,
you're right.
It's not. Continue.
First time you'll ever hear Chuck Barrett not be enthused about an 11 a.m. road game.
Now don't get me wrong.
Chuck loves the 11 a.m. game now.
If I was being selfish, I would say, man, I love a day game, and I do. But I was hoping for our fans and just for the game itself, and the fact that, there are a lot of people in Northwest Arkansas. I'm sure there are many in Fort Smith and in the River Valley that their kids go to Oklahoma State. They want to get out of state and they want to go away, but not too far. I know lots of people whose kids go over there. So I was hoping maybe they'd have a day to, spend some time together and then go to the ball game.
Yeah, drink some limeys at the Copper Penny. Instead, it's going to be a little more difficult to do that. Other news for you this morning. John L. Davis officially withdrawn from the NBA draft process. This was expected, and now it's official. So he will be an Arkansas Razorback this upcoming season. In terms of another guy that might be, And I don't know if this is even a hunch. I just know I've seen a few credible college basketball people report interest. Coleman Hawkins, the Illinois power forward, has withdrawn his name from the NBA draft process. Just a guy that you might want to keep an eye on when it comes to that potential ninth player, which Cal talked about yesterday and kind of gave a variety of things of what could that potentially look like.
It depends on who it is. That's what we'll look for. Is it a shooter? Is it a four-man that can shoot? Is it strong, physical? Is it a defensive guy? Right now, I can breathe because we got 8. And I'm hoping there'll be 9, but what if there's not? Somebody said, well, what if you have injuries? If the wrong guy gets injured on any team in this country, you're done. I don't care if you have 8 guys, 9 guys, 15, 16 guys. The wrong guy gets injured. And so my thing is, if a couple guys get injured, I'll have 6 really happy players because they'll play all the minutes.
How honest can you be?
Well, the original question, he originally began to talk about, what that one more, somebody asked him, what are you looking for with that one more spot? That's a long, clever way of saying, I'll let you know. Yeah. Is it a shooter? Is it a 4 guy? Is it this? And then all of a sudden he morphs into 8 or 9 guys back to 6 happy players. I keep going back to what Mike Griffith said a little bit earlier. He knows what he's doing.
And that's your Hog Update this morning, brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Sterling is with us here on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. He wants to talk a little basketball and baseball. What's up, Sterling?
Hey, guys. First on time, I totally agree with Chuck, but I feel rejuvenated how to find it. And what I like best about the course that I played was at the end. We're going to say, if that doesn't work, good try something else. What more do you want here? He's not married to this or that or one situation. He's married to getting the job done, and whichever way it takes to get it done, I'm going to get it done here. So don't fret, don't worry. I'm here to do a job, and I'm going to do it. And that's where I took from our head to the statement yesterday. And it's nice to hear about it. We're going to be going, we're going to be a marquee going to different places. And, for a college fan, for some reason that means something to us. I don't know why. I'm saying that pro sports is just as well, and don't bother me in the pros. But for some reason, you want to be respected. You want the college team to be known, and other people to know that you're good as well. And as for the baseball team, as I'm fired up, and I know they're not going to be wrong on the weather. But I want them to be right about the weather. They're wrong, and when I want them to be wrong, they're right. So probably won't play tomorrow as much as I hate it. I hope it doesn't work out like that. But I'm very confident about this baseball team, and I'm always confident about baseball because you never know what's going to happen. But momentum don't carry over like it does in other sports. The old saying used to be next day starting pitching, but it's just day to day when it comes to baseball. That Ole Miss team that barely made a tournament a couple years ago went 10-1 in the postseason. That's just crazy. And like I said before on this program, we don't see Fresno State winning that championship.
Yeah, Sterling, thanks for the call. We're up against the clock here, but I hear with what you're saying about Cal there as well. Hey, when it's time to spruce up your existing home or even build a brand new one, you can trust the experts at Farm Credit of Western Arkansas to help you choose the financing option that is best for you. Go to myaglender.com and drop by any of Farm Credit's 25 locations around our listing area and get started on building more family memories with Farm Credit of Western Arkansas.
Hour number 3 coming up. Tom's going to join us, and we'll talk more about what's going on in Sandestin and this upcoming regional with SEMO, Kansas State, and more. All that's next.
Tommy Kraft here for the Fence Man. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from the Fence Man can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, the Fence Man can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. Call the Fence Man and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Roll into the season at WT Equipment. Get ready to roll with strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, and even our large commercial-grade hay equipment. Find out and save $5,000, $10,000, or more in cash back. Or get 0% financing for up to 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compacts. Hurry, offer ends June 30 for commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
At Our Best Bank, we believe in the power of community. That's why we recognize, serve, and support communities of all kinds. From small towns to big cities, business startups to large companies, young families to seniors, and those with shared backgrounds and interests. We value your contributions and are proud to work alongside you because every community deserves a financial partner who cares. Our Best Bank. We believe.
Hi, that's the $1 million question.
This is the Morning Rush.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Robert.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
Hey, do y'all know what time it is?
It's about 2:30.
Summertime?
It's that and a whole lot more.
And no matter what's happening, the Stadium Shop has what you need.
We have the best selection for showing off your Razorback spirit while on vacation, even Razorback swim trunks.
Graduations, anniversaries, birthdays, we have what you need for your event.
And we have what you need for that trip to Omaha.
Even a new line of hard shell luggage.
Also, Omaha tees, flags, bases loaded hats, and the boppers.
And you can get them here at the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium. Or you can check us online at those WWNs.
Dad, let me do that before you hurt yourself. He's talking about our website, shoponrazorback.com.
And if you can't reach us there, call us at 479-STADIUM.
All from the only family, alumni-owned and operated Razorback store.
South of the North Pole.
Dad, please.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go
Hawks.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news about our first ever trade-in acquisition event. We need your trade, so now through Memorial Day, get your state sales tax paid when you trade for any one of our road-ready certified vehicles. That's right, state sales tax paid when you trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Stop by the Golf Nut today and check out the full line of lab putters featuring Lie-Angle balanced technology. Lab putters were used by 14% of professionals in the 2024 Masters Tournament. All models of the new Scotty Cameron Phantom putters are in stock, including the longer 38-inch model. Come discover the biggest selection of name brand clubs, apparel, and accessories in the region. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue, your #1 golf shop for over 30 years.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time, every time.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunny to partly cloudy skies. Our temperatures this afternoon, upper 70s with a slight chance of showers and storms across the south. Chance of a few showers or scattered thunderstorms tonight, low to mid 60s. And then occasional showers and storms Friday, mid to upper 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 91 days. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
Which teams are you talking to right now about potentially playing for conference?
Most of the stuff is done of who we're playing, and then there may be one team that I try to do a home and home with, but we're going to play in Little Rock. We want to play in Dallas. You need national games. You got to play in Madison Square Garden. There's things. Look, we want to recruit Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, St. Louis. We do. But you know we're going to recruit nationally.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studio. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Kristen Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bensenville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's hour number 3 of the Morning Rush here on a Too Stupid Thursday. We've got a few other stories I want to share with you in regards to that. Before we talk to Tom, before we get more into this hour, I do want to let people know across Northwest Arkansas and North Central Arkansas, ImpactNWA.org is where you can find local shelters, places to cool up hot meals, places where you can put up the limbs, phone charging stations. There's a lot of stuff there. So ImpactNWA.org is a great resource for you to utilize if your home's been damaged or you have friends or family that are going through that situation, because we know this is not just a one-day thing. This is something we're going to have to deal with the next few weeks and next few months. So we'll try and keep you updated and keep us updated as much as you can in terms of the tornado stuff.
Yeah. So always want to pass along that stuff. If you've got that information out there, send it to us. Call Big C on the McLarty Daniel hotline. Give it to him. Text it to us. Email it in. Find us on social media. We'll be sure and pass the word along. Hey, it's patio season at Uncorked in Fort Smith. They're on Phoenix Avenue, right next door to Sodi's. They've got live music coming up to kind of wrap up May. They're going to do live music tomorrow night with James Strong from 7 to 10. You can make your reservations online at uncorkthefort.com. You can click the link there. With patio season, their patio pours are back. They'll be doing patio pours tonight from 5 to 7, featuring Boulevard on the patio this evening. So come out and try something new with the patio pours tonight from 5 to 7. They'll have the big screen on tomorrow. Assuming baseball, I know baseball may start before they open, but let's just see what happens with baseball tomorrow. You might be able to watch some of the game at Uncorked as well. So patio pours tonight, James Strong, live music tomorrow. Make your plans, look at the menus and more. Uncorkthefort.com on Phoenix Avenue, next to Sodi's in Fort Smith.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Mach 1 Financial. Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC is an SEC-registered investment advisor located in Bentonville, Arkansas. For full disclosures, visit mach1financial.com/disclosures.
All right, let's welcome in Tom Murphy via the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Tom, scheduling is something that Greg Sankey was asked about this week. We already know Arkansas playing Thursday night opener in Little Rock. They're not going to play at 11 a.m. on Fox, according to Brett McMurphy. Just kind of share your thoughts on news in the last 30 minutes or so, and maybe what you learned from Greg Sankey and kickoff times this upcoming season.
Well, it's an interesting kickoff time, that's for sure. And I would say spring meetings were full of what's coming down the pike, because it's been a sea change since NIL hit us in 2018 or 19. Whenever that hit, it has been one thing after the other, and these conferences are having to adapt and change, and people look to the SEC for leadership. And I would say on the kickoff time, you want to avoid some of the 3 o'clock ones that Arkansas has had as for season openers in recent years. But 11, I mean, we got used to that last year, right?
Yeah, and I would bet more of them are coming. Basketball-wise, Cal was also at the spring meetings. Tom, he touched on a few things with his roster. DJ Wagner, like we talked about, commits this week. He mentioned Little Rock playing. That we kind of expected that. But he also mentioned Dallas and Madison Square Garden. I would think that Arkansas fans like the prospect of that. What do you think?
I would think so. I mean, huge alumni base for Arkansas in the Dallas area, and it's always been, when they would hold Southwest Conference tournaments down there, Razorback fans would show up. I mean, Reunion Arena, I believe, was called Barnhill South for a while. So John Calipari seriously understands the branding and what exposure means on a national level. I mean, and Kentucky basketball is a big deal to play Madison Square Garden, for the media appeal. And I think he feels the same about Arkansas. If you're going to be a national brand, you're going to recruit nationally, then you go out and play these. And quite honestly, John Calipari paired with Arkansas basketball is a good brand to sell to the networks and to the venues in the coming years.
Yeah. Tom Murphy with us here on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. Let's shift the focus to baseball. Fayetteville Regional scheduled to start tomorrow. Tom, the weather forecast looks a little more than iffy for Friday baseball.
It does. I've been looking at that, and so they're going to have to, and this is one of the reasons why Dave Van Horn wants to play the first game, because if you're going to have delays and you manage to squeeze one in, well, you want that to be you, so you're not playing the doubleheader the next day, or your game gets hung up and postponed. The 2017 regional was rife with that kind of stuff. Seemed like to me there was more than one rain delay, and then we had the 3 a.m. game, which I was covering, and you just don't want to run into that where your team's losing sleep and having to play multiple hours in a given day at two different times. So we will see how this thing transpires. But, yeah, rain does appear to be a big part of the forecast tomorrow.
And I'll be interested to see how the pitching's handled. There's a lot of discussion about when Hagen Smith will or should pitch this weekend. The one thing when you look at Southeast Missouri, they've used like 4 or 5 different pitchers on their what we would call their Friday starts. Hard to determine when you look at their stat sheet and look at the starts who their ace really is.
Yeah, it is. And I talked to Andy Sawyers at length a couple of days ago. And by the way, just a really good guy. Dave Van Horn was talking about how Lane Burroughs and Andy Sawyers, some of these guys from his tree, are not only really good baseball men, but they're good husbands and fathers. And I got that from Andy Sawyers, who's so complimentary of Dave Van Horn and how he builds a program and how he approaches the day-to-day with his team. But, yeah, Hayden Dow has been their Friday guy, a left-hander, but he says in years past, like they had Dylan Dodd a few years ago in 21, and they actually played here, and Dylan Dodd left the game with a lead against the Razorbacks, and the bullpen didn't hold it. But he was a Friday night stud, and they had another guy the next year. But he says right now we have guys that are in our league, the Ohio Valley. They're good Saturday or Sunday guys, and we don't have a Friday guy. So there's no telling who they'll pitch. I'm sure they'll look at all the splits and see if you want to attack with a right-hander or a left-hander as to whether they start one of the other three guys. And then for Arkansas, I mean, he thought Sawyers thinks that Arkansas probably won't throw Hagen Smith against them. But then if you're Dave Van Horn and Matt Hobbs, again, you look at the splits, you project toward game 2 and what Louisiana Tech does against lefties and what Kansas State does. And so there's a big calculus that goes into it. And I don't have those splits or those breakdowns, but we'll find out a little bit more from Dave Van Horn today in the press conference.
You know, I listened to the Kansas State coach talk about Bob Walker Stadium and the intimidation factor, saying it's not going to be a field trip by any means coming down and trying to play the Razorbacks and giving credit to them. I also was also just reading up on some of the statistics within not just the Fayetteville Regional but other spots. Tom, it's pretty remarkable that Arkansas has the number 1 ERA and a couple other pitching stats of every single tournament team, yet they have the worst batting average of any tournament team. Is that going to be an issue, not just in this regional, but next week potentially too?
Well, it certainly could, and if you're a Razorback fan, you're a little bit antsy about what that average is like. But here's the thing. They've had some 2-out rally, like in Hoover. I want to say there was a few innings where there's 2 outs, and then you get a double, and then you get a walk, or a single hit by pitch, and you got 2 or 3 guys on base, and then you get an out, and you don't score. What they need to do is they need to get the error or the hit by pitch, get 2 guys on, then hit a gapper, and that's just been so rare, in the last few weeks for this team, because you can get by with a 280, 272 batting average. You can get by with it if you place them in the right spots. And so, to me, clutch hitting. They've got to pitch like they did earlier in the season. That's for sure. But to me, if they can get a dose of clutch hitting, that's the recipe to try to get to Omaha for this team.
Who starts at left field Friday afternoon? Who are you think it's going to be?
Man, I wish I could tell you. I think it's going to be, once they find out who the SEMO starter is going to be, whether it's a left-handed back like Lovich or, a right-handed bat. Jason Jones, he got a shot late in the year against A&M. They have rotated around between Edmondson and Lovich and all those guys. One thing we do know is Peyton Holt's going to be in there, and you feel like Kendall Diggs is, and then it's a matter of whether they go defense in center field with Wilmsmeyer or put Holt there and put Edmondson or Lovich or Jones in left. So I wish I could tell you, but it's just been so up in the air all year, it's hard to say.
Yeah. Tom Murphy with us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. When you look at Kansas State, you look at La Tech and the rest of this region. We talked about SEMO a minute ago. What do you see in the kind of the 2 and the 3 seeds? Hopefully, you're planning on Arkansas playing the winner of that game.
Yeah, that's what you hope to do if you're the Razorbacks. And Louisiana Tech had a really good year. They won the Conference USA regular season, but they had the tournament at home, and DBU beat them like. I guess everybody was out of pitching because the final was 17-10, and so that was it. That was in their home ballpark. So we know DBU is a quality program. Arkansas's had them here in a regional a few years ago, and Lane Burroughs, he knows Dave Van Horn. They've played each other quite a bit in recent years, so that will be a really intriguing one. Kansas State, I don't know a whole lot about, but obviously a 3 seed, 9 or 10 games over 500. Can hurt you, and so I think they're a little bit more pitching heavy than hitting. And Arkansas, they've got to get Tiger and Molina straightened out. They've got to be able to get 4 or 5 quality innings from both of those guys. Maybe 2 runs given up, maybe 3 out of those 2, and then you think about patching together the weekend. You want to get 4 or 5 innings out of Will McIntyre. You want to get 3 or 4 quality innings from Gage Wood, and then obviously you want to get a quality start out of Hagen Smith. And if you can get that formula and a few timely hits, that could get them out of the regional and on to what is likely going to be Virginia or Mississippi State in the Supers.
Tom, real quick before we let you go, your colleague Matt Jones had a really good piece about how 10 of the 16 regional hosts have not won a national championship, which I thought was a pretty high number, and 8 of the 10. What does that speak to now in college baseball with that many teams having a chance to win a national championship with better odds being at home.
Yeah, that is a very intriguing number. You'd think it'd be higher, but you don't have LSU there. You don't have Mississippi State there, and so on. And so teams like Arkansas and Clemson, Florida State, who haven't won them, very, very eager, very hungry to get that first one. I think it just shows that there's a lot of schools putting more resources into college baseball right now, and the talent is spread out pretty good. And maybe the odds this year will favor a brand new CWS champion.
And possibly one wearing red and white. Tom, we'll leave it there. We appreciate your time, and we'll recap the Fayetteville Regional on Tuesday, okay?
Yep, sounds good. Yep.
All right, Tom Murphy with us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. We're going to be next door, guys, to Baum Walker Stadium in the morning at the Stadium Shop, right there on Razorback, just steps away from Baum Walker, getting ready for the Regional. If you're looking for Omaha's gear, you're looking for, and here's one thing that struck me that they're going to have tomorrow. They're going to have Hagen Smith, Kendall Diggs, Aloy, Souza, all those guys in T-shirts that you can get with current players' names and numbers on them at the Stadium Shop. So you can load up on all the gear you need. Also, they have a 75% off clearance section, things that just got to move on out to get the new stuff in for football season. So the largest selection of Razorback merchandise south of the North Pole. We'll be there tomorrow morning. Come by and say hello between 6 and 9 or anytime tomorrow at the Stadium Shop again on Razorback, and shop on Razorback.com to get all your stuff sent to you.
Chuck, you mentioned Burroughs there, and you think about Burroughs, LA Tech, Sawyers at SEMO, Ezel, who played for Dave a couple years ago. I know you were talking about this in the podcast a little bit, and I think it was Bob that wrote that piece in Whole Hog Sports. I mean, his coaching tree just keeps expanding. I know we think about Vitello and Wes Johnson maybe first and foremost, but it is wild of how many coaching connections Dave Van Horn now has in college baseball.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're all over, and he's been around a while, and he's had a lot of success. And so there are a lot of branches to that tree. You mentioned some of them there. Will Bolt has Nebraska back in. And, the people up there have called him Little DVH for years. I remember when Will Bolt played for him. Hey, he's a Hall of Famer. And Hall of Famers generally have coaching trees. And his seems to grow every year.
Who has the advantage in those type of games? Or does anyone have a quote-unquote leg up on one another? Arkansas has the advantage being at home, being the more talented team than the other three. But when, the mentor is playing the mentee, is there any leg up on anyone? I tend to think that the mentee has a leg up than the mentor, but maybe I'm off on that.
One with the better players.
That's exactly
the one
what
that has the advantage. I mean, you're assuming all things are equal, and it turns into a coaching matchup, and never are things 100% equal. Sometimes it does turn into a coaching matchup, and I'll take my chances with Dave Van Horn, 100 days out of 100 in that situation. But I'm not sure it really matters as much as we think. The mentor wants to stay the mentor, and the mentee wants to beat the guy that taught him. That's just natural.
It's fun. It's a fun dynamic to have in these type of games.
The team that gets the timely hit usually wins in close matchups. And what have we talked about all year long? And that's one thing, and I think we'll see it firsthand. And Chuck, you've seen this many times. You get out of the SEC, the conference tournament, you get to a regional, and it's just simply a different level you'll play at least this weekend. I'm not saying the games will be easy and a cakewalk, but what you'll see from their batting lineups and from their pitchers and the depth of their teams, it's just not the same as what you faced for 10 grueling weekends.
No, but you're still playing a team that's accustomed to winning. And that's the thing that I think you have to be respectful of. Yes, it's different not playing an SEC team. And, Virginia, if everything goes according to chalk, and Arkansas gets to Omaha, I don't think they'd play an SEC team until the second game of the College World Series, if I've got the brackets right.
Well, unless LSU
maybe
wins.
The first one.
If LSU won in advance,
but if it goes to chalk, what I'm saying is if everything goes according to chalk.
Correct.
And that is good. But by the same token, we've seen this before. TCU wasn't an SEC team. NC State wasn't an SEC team. It doesn't really matter where you're from now. It matters how you're playing today.
Chuck, how about 11 teams from the league being a part of this postseason?
Yeah,
And
that was. I was not surprised by the 11. I was really shocked Georgia was a national seed. I'll be honest there. That surprised me. I thought Oklahoma would be. But yeah, I mean, 11 teams, record number.
And Dave got asked earlier this week about what adding in Texas and Oklahoma. It's not like a given each year the Longhorns and the Sooners will be, but I mean, Oklahoma's just in the College World Series finals 2 years ago. Texas typically has a perennial baseball program, so I guess the expectation is to probably have 12, 13 teams now from here on out.
The thing you got to remember, though, for 30 games, they're going to be playing SEC teams, and SEC teams are going to be playing them. So if they win a game, it may cancel out one of the 11 teams that's in the tournament this year. They may replace a team that, got in at the end, like Florida, for example. With Texas and Oklahoma in the league, maybe Florida gets in, maybe not. I don't know. Would they take that many? I never, frankly, thought I'd see the day when they took 11, and I sure didn't think I'd see 5 national seeds, but I'll give the committee some credit. They do recognize the fact that for 10 weekends, as you said a little bit earlier, Tommy, it is grueling. And I'm glad that they're respectful of that. Hey, this week on the Market Moment podcast, guys, Matt, Lee, and Isaac discussed T-Mobile's next big merger. I didn't know McDonald's had a spinoff called Cosmic. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. That's a big deal now. NVIDIA's continued growth. The meme stock GameStop. Everybody's still talking about that. You can check out the latest episode of the Market Moment by heading to market-moment.com. Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC is an SEC-registered investment advisor. They're located in Rogers. And for full disclosures, you can visit mach1financial.com/disclosures.
Guys, we thinking that weather's going to avoid us this weekend? I mean, you just looked at the radar hour or so ago, Tommy. I've kind of seen the updates and the changes. I have a feeling that the game's going to get pushed back tomorrow. And
you're a weatherman?
No, that's Derek Ruskin. If anyone's the ESPN Arkansas weatherman, it is the former weatherman, Mr. Ruskin. But I just follow the Apple app, Chuck.
Just during the time of the show, it's went from a 70 to a 90% chance of rain. Now, that doesn't always mean that it's going to rain but now this app is forecasting over 2 inches of rain, and rain basically all day from 4 a.m. in the morning till through the afternoon, and maybe you could play baseball in the evening. But right now it looks like it's going to be a rain-soaked Friday.
Yeah, hopefully it somehow avoids things change, but doesn't sound like it's going to. So you got baseball starting tomorrow. Tonight, you've got the NBA playoffs. Game number 5 featuring the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Dallas Mavericks, former Razorback. We'll talk about Daniel coming up in just a bit.
All of our coverage of the Fayetteville Regional presented by Mock Legal Solutions, Arvest Bank, and Camping World will be ready with all of the games coming up whenever they start. Hopefully Friday at 2 on most of these ESPN Arkansas stations.
ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app is live at the 2024 Fayetteville Regional. Exclusive coverage is presented by Mock Legal Solutions. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price. Arvest Bank. Arvest is ready to help. Equal housing lender member FDIC. And by Camping World. Camping World in